A boy fell in love with a girl without a head, but he felt very inferior just because he has a handsome face. This is a world without heads. Everyone has no head, but those with heads are defined as disabled because they have no head, so they inevitably bump into each other when walking. A thief just robbed a bag of money from the bank and hit a car parked on the side of the road. The thief thought he met a robber, so he picked up a machine gun and started shooting wildly, killing a large number of innocent people on the road. This is the 9,600 case of murder. A man waited for the bus for 3 hours, and finally the bus came, but the driver drove away as soon as he stepped on it, since he couldn't see the road, and the driver hit the street lamp in front of him. The impact attracted the attention of the boy Danny. He walked and looked, but accidentally bumped into the headless girl ahead. Although the girl had no head, but she was very plump. He curiously reached out to hand out who had just hit him. At this moment, the boy suddenly remembered his head and fled in fright immediately. As night fell, the lights of each house began to turn on. Danny with a head was standing in the dark room, polishing something. He was already sweating profusely from exhaustion. He came to the window. He saw the red light outside the window. 2 cars suddenly collided. He seemed to be used to it, the constant sound of collisions every day. The next day, Danny came to the street, again yesterday. He saw the girl he saw yesterday again. This time, he took the initiative to hold the girl's hand and took her with him to watch a dark movie together. The popcorn in the cinema was eaten everywhere. Danny nervously moved his hand, slowly transferred to the feeling of heart palpitations made him excited, which made him excited. When he got home, he worked harder to make his tools. He looked up at the clock on the wall after staying up all night, and the hour hand had already pointed to 9 o'clock. He immediately put down his work and walked out. Today, he bought a bouquet of flowers and saw the girl who had been waiting for him here. He shyly gave the flowers to her in her hand. This time, the girl not only accepted the flowers, but also the boy who gave her the flowers. They started a romantic date. The girl became more and more curious about him. She reached out to touch the boy, but touched the boy's face instead. At that moment, he immediately walked away as if he touched a monster. He threw the flowers he gave her on the ground. Their love ended in such a hasty way at the beginning. Then he saw the girls fleeing back and felt mixed feelings. He felt mixed emotions. He returned home and stealthed out the window in a daze. He stayed up all night again. He finally finished his tools. He pulled down the black cloth covering it. What was covered was actually a guillotine. Since the world couldn't accept his disability, he hoped to change himself to fit into this world. He climbed up the stretcher he made by himself. With the drop of the guillotine, he finally became a normal headless man. He struggled to get out of the house and staggered on the street. At this moment, he wanted to find his girl quickly. He wanted to tell her he had become a normal person. Finally, he found her. The moment the girl touched his headless body, he happily hugged her tightly and said he finally accepted himself as a normal person. And finally, he gained the love he had always longed for. So, if you also live in such a world without heads, would you give up your head, your own head?